Hello and welcome aboard The Story Arc. I'm your Captain Kenny Mears, and I am super excited to have you joining us for today's Christmas special. Today we have two storytellers we have never had on the show before, Annie and Dan Eastmond, also known as the Harvest Home Duo, and they are absolutely delightful. I'm super excited. They're going to do some Christmas cowboy poetry. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
My name's Annie Eastmond. I am a story musician, storyteller with the Utah Storytelling Guild. I've actually been the president of the Salt Lake Valley's Olympus Chapter Storytelling Guild since 2016, and I often do tandem storytelling with my husband, Dan. But today I'm going to do a cowboy Christmas story poem by Jeff Carson. I've changed a phrase or two to make it totally family-friendly. And here we are. I'm going to tell you a story that you may find hard to believe. But this is the way it happened one night on Christmas Eve. I had just come in that evening from finishing my final chores when I heard someone a-knocking upon the bunkhouse door. When I opened up the door, I was taken by surprise, and I wasn't quite prepared for the sight that met my eyes. This little round fellow was a yakking and a jawing, and he never took a pause. He had a belly big as Texas, said his name was Santa Claus. He said he'd had some trouble and could sure use a hand because things hadn't gone that Christmas Eve the way that he had planned. Rudolph hit a patch of ice and fell and mashed his nose. It was flatter than a pancake now and no longer glows. And Dasher ate a box of prunes because he thought them yum. Now he had a bellyache and a bad case of the runs. And Dancer beat up Prancer, and Vixen's got the flu, and now it looks as though the others are coming down with it too. And now there are no reindeer to pull my Christmas sleigh. And there won't be any toys under trees on Christmas Day. Well, I could see that Santa was really in a bind, and I got me an idea right here in my mind. I said, I think I can help you, but we're going to have to bend the rules. 'Cause out here, we don't raise no reindeer, but I got a string of mules. Well, Santa looked as though he'd taken a blow right below the belt, and I could only just imagine how low poor Santa felt. I guess beggars can't be choosers, I heard old Santa say. So we hitched up the mules and hooked them to the sleigh. Now, it was a mite bit different. It weren't quite the same when he climbed into his sleigh and called them all by name. There was Rastus, there was Rufus, Toby and Abigail, Bert and Ernie, Jasper and Brutus, and in the lead was Jezebel. He reached inside his pocket and pulled out some magic dust. He threw it across the back of them mules, and man, you should have felt that forward thrust. It sucked me back into my seat, and my cheeks, they was a flapping. Them mules were doing 90 per, and them reins old Santa was slapping. Now, it must have been the magic dust, 'cause there's no other explanation why. Until then, I never see no mules fly. We sped across that moonlit night, a-spreading Christmas cheer. And them mules did a much better job than any old reindeer. We went from house to house, doing some rooftop hopping. Them mules left mighty big tracks and a whole lot bigger droppings. Well, I was a mite impressed, even though Santa was a beginner. And by the end of that night, he'd become a top-hand mule skidder. Now, believe it or not, this is the way it happened. The year the reindeer ran amok and a string of mules saved the day. Now, I'm not at liberty to share the details that were made, but by the end of that night, me and Santa had made a trade. So don't you be surprised if you wake up Christmas Day and you see me riding a reindeer and a string of mules pulling Santa's sleigh.
I want to tell you a story poem that my grandma Nammy used to tell at all our family reunions every Christmas. I thought maybe she wrote it until my wife, a librarian, looked it up and found out it's by Eugene Field, and it's old. It's 1885, Just for Christmas. Mother calls me William. Father calls me Will. Sister calls me Willie, but the fellas call me Bill. Mighty glad I ain't a girl, rather be a boy without those curls, sashes, and things that's worn by Fauntleroy. Love to chonk green apples and go swimming in the lake. Hate to take the castor oil they give for bellyache. Most of the time, the whole year round, there ain't no flies on me, but just for Christmas, when I'm as good as I can be. I got a yeller dog named Sport. Sick him on the cat, and she don't know where she's at. Got a clipper sled, and when us kids go out to slide, along comes the grocery cart, and we all hitch a ride. But sometimes, when the grocery man is worrited and cross, he reaches at us with his whip and larrets up his hoss. And I laughs and hollers, "Hey, you never touched me!" But just for Christmas, when I'm as good as I can be. Grandma says she hopes that when I get to be a man, I'll be a missionary like her oldest brother Dan, who was ate up by the cannibals that lives on Salem's Isle, where every prospect pleases and only man is vile. But Grandma, she's never seen a Wild West show or read the likes of Daniel Boone, or else I guess she'd know that Buffalo Bill and Cowboys is good enough for me, except just for Christmas, when I'm as good as I can be. Then Sport, he hangs around so quiet-like and still, his eyes keep pleading, "What's the matter, little Bill?" And that cat, she sneaks down off her perch and wonders what's become of her, those two enemies of hern that used to make life hum. But I is sore polite and tend so earnestly to biz that Mother says to Father, "How improved our William is." But Father, having been a boy himself, suspicions me when just for Christmas I'm as good as I can be. For Christmas, with all its candies, cakes, and toys, was made, they say, for proper kids, and not for naughty boys. So, wash your face, comb your hair, mind your P's and Q's. Don't bust out your pantaloons, don't wear out your shoes. Say, "Yes'm" to the ladies, and "Yes, sir" to the men. And when they's company, don't pass your plate for pie again. Just try to think of all those presents you want to see beneath the tree, and then, just for Christmas, be as good as you can be.
This episode was written, produced, and edited by me, Kenny Mears. If you like today's episode, please go check out Annie and Dan Eastmond at their website, harvesthomemusic.com, or you can find more storytellers with the Utah Storytelling Guild at utahstorytellingguild.website. As always, please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or wherever you listen to your podcast for more content. And until next time, thanks for listening.